Good evening, I'm Andrew Chang. Adrian is away. Tonight, Justin Trudeau says he's sorry for his handling of the We Charity government contract.
The mistake that we made was on me, and I take responsibility for it.
Why the opposition says an apology isn't enough. A heartbroken mother attends a growing memorial in Quebec. In Ontario, a mother demands reforms in the family court system.
There were clear red flags in terms of the abuse.
And what's in an NFL name change?
It's once the sponsor started saying, all right, it's either you stick to that name or you stick with us.
But will others follow Washington's lead? This is The National. An admission and an apology today. Two Canadians from the Prime Minister about his handling of that multi-million-dollar government contract, the one given to a charity with which his family has close ties. For weeks, he's been defending the choice of the We Charity to administer a government program. But today, a major shift. Justin Trudeau now says it was a mistake for him to have been involved in those discussions at all. Trudeau has appeared at We events. His mother and brother were paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for speaking engagements. And as David Cochrane explains, not knowing that number is one of the regrets the Prime Minister expressed today.
The Prime Minister insists his government was trying to do the right thing, but admits they did it the wrong way.
I made a mistake in not recusing myself immediately from the discussions, given our family's history. And I'm sincerely sorry about not having done that.
In essence, saying it's not we, it's me that caused the collapse of the student grants program.
I am sorry because...
For many things beyond the program itself, for dragging his family into a controversy.
What I also deeply regret is the fact that I have brought my mother into this situation in a way that is really unfair to her.
Sorry for not knowing how much his family was paid and plunging his government into a third ethics investigation.
I did not know the details, and as I said, I should have known the details, and I regret that.
We know that Justin Trudeau is only sorry when he gets caught, and that's what the apology was all about today.
The Conservatives still want the police and Parliament to dig into this. The Bloc says Trudeau should step aside while the Ethics Commissioner investigates.
He always does it again and again and again. And there comes a time when we do not trust him anymore.
An apology as well from the Finance Minister, who also didn't recuse himself, even though his daughter works for We. And while the We organization is no longer running the student grants program, it is running ads, saying the charity only did what the government asked and was never going to profit from this, just recover its costs. All of this has left the Liberals damaged and the government scrambling to start up and deliver a student grants program it argued it didn't have the capacity to deliver, which is why all of this went to We in the first place. David Cochrane, CBC News, Ottawa.
So let's talk about how this is all playing out for Canadians as a whole. Vashi Kapelis is the host of Power and Politics. So Vashi, what do we know about how this may change the way the public sees the PM?
Hi, Andrew. It's pretty early to tell what kind of long-term damage, if any, this does to the Prime Minister, but we are getting some early polling that shows, at least in the short term, his approval ratings have taken a hit. Angus Reid Institute, for example, shows since the revelation that the Prime Minister's mother and brother were paid by the We Charity, his approval rating among Canadians has fallen by 5 points.
So then what distance is the apology likely to go?
Yeah, that's really the big question. Will it be enough for Canadians? Likely the answer lies in your political allegiance for the most part. Conservatives and New Democrats who already weren't fans of the Prime Minister are not going to think it goes far enough. To them, this is really part of a pattern of ethical lapses that speak to Trudeau's character. For Liberal supporters, on the other hand, it's different. For the most part, it doesn't look like this has majorly moved the dial with them. Will this make them vote for another party? Probably not. It reminds me of the SNC controversy from last year in that respect, because people are pretty firmly in their camps with one, what I would call very significant caveat this time around. I can tell you, Andrew, I have spoken to many senior Liberals over the past few days, and while they're not outraged per se, they tell me they are disappointed. They're using that word exactly, that once again, the government's biggest problem is one entirely of their own making.
Vasha Capello, so it's good to get your analysis. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Using a helicopter, drones, and sniffer dogs, Quebec police and the Canadian military spent the day searching for a missing man, Martin Carpentier. The 44-year-old father was last seen with his daughters before they were both found dead on Saturday. Authorities have been scouring a wooded area southwest of Quebec City. The CBC's Justin Hayward has the latest.
At a makeshift memorial to her two daughters, Amélie Lemire tries to speak about the unimaginable.
Dès le premier souffle, je vous ai aimé inconditionnellement. Vous êtes toute ma vie, ma raison d'exister.
11-year-old Nora and Romy, 6, were found dead in the forest on Saturday after last being seen with their father. Police have been searching for Martin Carpentier since Wednesday when an Amber Alert went out. With dogs and drones, they've combed the thick forest, so far finding only what they're calling objects that lead them to believe he is nearby.
Is a person that maybe suffered from some injuries, is implied in a criminal investigation. We have two little girls that has been found dead, and also he is the clue of all this event, all of this situation.
Carpentier was a scout leader, his daughters scouts. People who know him say they can't believe this is happening. They say he lived for his daughters, seemed happy, but some also point out he was in the middle of a difficult divorce.
All our hearts are with the mom. A mom her life has been shattered forever.
Experts say sometimes the danger signs get missed.
We can never minimize a parental abduction. You know, there's this myth in our society where we think that because children are with the other parent that they are safe, and that's not necessarily the case.
People who live nearby just want it to end. I'm afraid, she says. What if he has a gun? We're keeping our children close, he says, and the door's locked. It's not normal for a quiet area like this. Police are hoping to find Carpentier alive, but after 72 hours in the bush, the chances are getting slim. Justin Hayward, CBC News, Montreal.
Like many countries, Canada is in a precarious position with COVID-19, trying to contain outbreaks while slowly reopening and thereby increasing risk. Each province has been on its own path, but as of now, with varying restrictions, you can dine indoors everywhere but Ontario. You can go to the gym everywhere but Ontario. You can gather in groups greater than 10. Well, you get the idea. Ontario is set to join the rest of the country by lifting those particular restrictions and others on Friday, except one thing. The Toronto region and other hotspots, together accounting for more than 2/3 of the province's population, aren't included. Jacqueline Hansen shows us how that's playing out.
In Toronto, a trip to the playground is still just sightseeing.
I really want it to go back to normal.
Kids in the Toronto area, Hamilton, Niagara, and Windsor-Essex have to wait. Stage 3 of reopening isn't happening here yet.
Nobody happy.
Elsewhere in the province, the next phase starts Friday. Playgrounds, gyms, and movie theaters can reopen, and restaurants can serve indoors.
Just because we're going to stage 3 doesn't mean we have to let our guard down. While we are opening up some things, we're still asking the public to be diligent.
Groups can get larger with physical distancing, but there are still limits: 100 people outdoors and 50 indoors. Landmark Cinemas says that won't work. At its Calgary theater, it's allowed 100 people per auditorium.
As a multi-screen, multiplex conventional theater operator, we can't open with just 50 people. There are just no economics or operational procedures to open for 50 people.
Ontario's premier agrees.
This doesn't make sense. We have, cinemas that have 12, 15 different theaters.
A company can make its case to the chief medical officer for an exception, and Landmark intends to. But businesses in Toronto will likely just have to wait. The area was 2 weeks behind for the start of stage 2 as well. For this downtown gym, its outdoor classes aren't sustainable much longer.
They only get 5 or 6 people because we don't have the space outside.
Moving back indoors would be a game changer.
It would help us make rent, it would help us be able to pay our coaches again.
A return to something closer to normal that many across the province are craving. Jacqueline Hansen, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, for months, Alberta was far ahead of Ontario in containing COVID-19, and it still has far fewer active cases. But a surge in new infections over the weekend is causing new concern. Aaron Collins looks into what's happening.
If every picture tells a story, this one also poses a question. Who would go to a packed beach like this one in Sylvan Lake during a pandemic? Alberta's premier has few answers.
The people very close together. I've seen that myself in parks and have seen people in crowded areas, including grocery stores, not wearing masks. And that kind of conduct, unfortunately, could jeopardize the progress that we have made.
As Alberta aggressively reopens its economy, there are signs it may be moving too quickly. Cases of COVID-19 are on the rise. The province announced 80 new confirmed cases today, 96 yesterday, the highest number since Alberta's relaunch began. The province will hand out 20 million masks at drive-through windows, a second serving to slow the rise in cases. But there are no plans to make them mandatory.
We strongly advise Albertans to follow the physical distancing guidelines and to wear a mask when that's not an option, such as on transit.
Now, there weren't many masks at that Alberta beach over the weekend, and experts say that could be a sign of overconfidence.
I do think that what we're seeing is very clear COVID fatigue. And I think that people have just really been self-isolating for so long and have really gone without all the things they look forward to, especially now that summer's here, and we just want to get back to a normal life.
Alberta reopened more quickly than most, and so far the province has yet to see a major spike in cases. Of course, you just have to look south of the border to see how quickly that can change when you let your guard down. Aaron Collins, CBC News, Calgary.
Prince Edward Island has identified 2 new COVID-19 cases linked to the province's biggest hospital.
Approximately 100 patients and 125 staff have been identified as contacts of the positive healthcare worker.
Now, that staff member is said to have made contact with an 80-year-old patient in the ER on July 4th. Then he went on to work 7 shifts at the hospital. Both have since tested positive, and visitor restrictions are now in place.
Masks will be mandatory everywhere in Quebec starting on July 18.
Quebec will be the first province to require that masks be worn in all indoor public spaces. The regulation would apply to everyone 12 and up, and business owners could face a fine of up to $6,000 if they don't enforce the new rule. Well, as businesses restart in this COVID world, liability waivers are becoming more common, but some students are pushing back against one at a Nova Scotia university. Kayla Hounsel explains why.
Many Canadian universities plan to offer classes primarily online this fall, but St. Francis Xavier is holding most of its on campus, and to attend, students have to sign a waiver.
I was very surprised at the language in the waiver. It was very strong, agreeing to the waiver, or else we would not be welcome back on campus and our student account would be suspended.
The waiver absolves the university of all liability related to loss or illness due to COVID-19, even if the university is negligent. Kouri doesn't want to sign it, but she needs 10 courses to graduate, and only 1 is available online.
I don't really feel that there is a choice, because I think that, choosing between continuing your studies and returning to campus, that's a choice made under duress.
It's certainly a very detailed and extensive waiver that seems to cover off just about every conceivable situation.
McKay says a court might strike down a contract in cases where there has been criminal negligence, or if a contract is considered too one-sided. But he cautions that would be extremely rare.
Students signing this should be aware that they're potentially giving up just about every possible opportunity for them to sue.
But we did have to sign. Cynthia McKenzie had to sign a waiver when she signed her kids up for soccer.
Well, it was a little nerve-wracking. I mean, those are my kids. I certainly want
them to be safe.
McKay says the law is different when kids are concerned.
When the now minor child becomes an adult, they still have their rights to sue because the courts have been quite clear that you cannot sign away your children's right to sue.
At St. FX, more than 800 students, faculty, and community members are asking the university to amend the waiver to reflect its obligation to provide a safe environment. The president says he will review the decision. Kayla Hounsel, CBC News, Halifax.
The federal wage subsidy program is being extended into December. The program can cover up to 75% of workers' wages at some companies hit hard by the pandemic, but not as many of those companies are using it as the government had hoped. Critics say eligibility rules need to change. The federal government is promising more details soon. After a recent increase in the number of travelers crossing into Canada from the U.S., the Public Health Agency of Canada says it's adding on-site staff at 36 points to help screen for COVID-19. Those locations will cover 90% of travelers. Other locations will have access to quarantine officers through a telehealth system. Well, the day after a global record was set for the highest number of daily new COVID-19 cases, the World Health Organization warned too many countries are headed in the wrong direction.
Mixed messages from leaders are undermining the most critical ingredient of any response: trust.
The head of the WHO did not mention the US or Brazil by name, but those two countries accounted for half of yesterday's case jump. As of tonight, Brazil is far past 1.8 million cases, and the US still outnumbers every other country by far, more than 3.3 million recorded infections. Katie Simpson has more on the conflicting communication from Washington.
After a morning of biking, Steve Keane and his sons try to physically distance as they stop for a treat.
Can I have a vanilla waffle cone?
While taking precautions, Keane says he's not worried about exposure to COVID.
I think the hype about this coronavirus is really over the top. We don't focus on it. We just practice good hygiene, keep distance, and we go on with our daily life.
You go see the monuments? Timmy Torres and his family are embracing a similar attitude during their DC vacation. No one is concerned about the case spike back home in Florida.
I just think it had more testing abilities because there really wasn't any that was available in the beginning.
The claim that positive cases are the result of expanded testing has been debunked by scientists, but Americans keep hearing it from the president.
We test more than anybody by far, and when you test, you create cases.
Not only is Donald Trump accused of ignoring evidence, he's ramping up criticism of the scientific community, sharing this tweet by former Love Connection host Chuck Woolery. The most outrageous lies are the ones about COVID-19, it says. Everyone is lying. The CDC, media, Democrats, and our doctors.
We need to be led by public health science because it's the only way to get our economy back and running. It's the only way to save lives.
The White House is now denying it's trying to discredit a member of its coronavirus task force after distributing a list of all the times Dr. Anthony Fauci has been wrong about COVID. Comments that were made as the science was evolving.
I find him to be a very nice person. I don't always agree with him.
Fauci ignored the jabs, urging Americans to better protect themselves.
That's a difficult message when people don't take something seriously, but we've got to hammer that home.
Mixed messaging has been a challenge in the U.S. and is one of the reasons why some Americans are skeptical about the seriousness of the situation. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Washington.
Authorities in California have recovered the body of Glee star Naya Rivera today. The 33-year-old actor went missing last Wednesday and was presumed drowned. She had rented a boat and went out with her 4-year-old on this lake near Los Angeles. The boy was found later that day sleeping on the boat unharmed. Actor Kelly Preston has died after a 2-year battle with breast cancer. She starred in films such as Space Camp, Twins, and Jerry Maguire. Her husband, John Travolta, said he plans to take some time off with their 2 children. The couple's 3rd child died in 2009, age 16, following a seizure. Kelly Preston was 57 years old. Well, NHL training camps got underway today as the league prepares to play in 2 Canadian cities.
We really feel this town is going to be lit up.
Up next, how cities are getting ready and who's sitting out. Plus, a mother calls for action after a devastating loss.
There were clear red flags in terms of the abuse, the pathological line. That was all just completely ignored.
Why she says family courts could have prevented her daughter's death. And the Washington Redskins are dropping their name and logo. Who's next? We're back in 2. Four months after COVID-19 halted the season, NHL players returned to training camps today. But as excitement grows in Toronto and Edmonton, the 2 official hub cities, so does anxiety over keeping the virus out. Rafi Boudjikanian looks at that tonight.
From the Oilers,
wearing masks, keeping our distance, taking your temperature and all that type of stuff.
to the Habs.
The NHL are going above and beyond for the safety of the players.
Teams are getting ready for an unusual playoff season. Toronto and Edmonton each hosting 12 teams, appealing for some.
Because so many games are going to be played over such a short duration, we could see a number of multiple fans coming. It could be a Oilers fan if the game's early in the day, and by the end of the day, maybe they're an Avalanche fans.
So, Hodgson will be stocking up on other colors besides Edmonton's beloved blue and orange.
We really feel that this town is going to be lit up with different hockey fans, both celebrating on their vehicle and in person.
But all that travel also means more potential for COVID to hitch a ride. Though players will be isolated in the so-called bubble zones, that's only once they land in hub cities. No such restrictions while they're training at home in 22 other locations. But the league's put a lot of work into trying to keep everyone safe, says this public health specialist.
There will be diagnostic testing every single day and symptom checked every single day. So it's, is it perfect? Of course, nothing's perfect in the COVID era. Is it really good? Yeah, it sure is.
Not good enough for those players who say they won't play, citing health and safety reasons. And in Alberta, it's not clear how much information public health officials will disclose if players do test positive.
We haven't had discussions yet around the granularity of disclosing data with respect to NHL play.
As for the league, it says more than 40 players have identified as COVID positive so far and are in self-isolation. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Edmonton.
Well, still ahead, the Washington Redskins say their controversial name is finally heading out the door after decades of calls for change. What happened and what teams could be next? Plus, when we come back, experts' answers to your COVID questions, including this one right here. I'm seeing more people wear masks with breathing valves. If they're letting more air through, doesn't that compromise their effectiveness? Respirologist Dr. Samir Gupta will answer that and more after this. Welcome back. Time to answer your COVID-19 questions. And joining me tonight to help, respirologist Dr. Samir Gupta. Hello to you, doctor. So here's question number one. This one's about masks, a familiar topic. Here's the question. I'm seeing more people wearing masks with breathing valves. If they're letting more air through, doesn't that compromise their effectiveness?
Absolutely, it does. In fact, those breathing valves are designed to make it more comfortable for the wearer of the mask. They're one-way valves. So they don't allow air in, so they force the wearer to actually breathe through the mask, but they allow air out so that it's easier to breathe out. But what that means is that the air is actually exiting the valve and not the mask, which means that the wearer's droplets are actually getting out there, and that defeats the purpose. We talked about using masks mostly to protect other people from our droplets. So if you're wearing one of these masks with the valves, you're not actually protecting other people. So we want people to avoid those. Okay, very interesting. Okay, here's question number two. How concerned should we be about being infected via surfaces compared to being around other people? This has been a topic that keeps coming up over and over again. Yeah, we've talked about this, and I think the key here is that as we've learned more, our thinking on this has evolved. We've talked about the fact that there's evidence that viruses can be transmitted through surfaces. Other coronaviruses can. There was a study early in this pandemic that showed that this virus can survive on stainless steel and plastic, for example, for up to 3 days, on cardboard for up to a day. But that was an artificial lab condition where a very high dose of virus was tested on those surfaces, much higher than you'd expect with a typical cough or sneeze. And what we've seen in the real world is when you look at, for example, contact tracing studies, The vast majority of people who acquire this infection were able to trace that back to a direct contact, usually in an enclosed space for a prolonged period of time. We're just not seeing a lot of surface contact transmission. So it's theoretically possible, but it probably isn't a very important route of transmission for this virus.
Okay, question number 3. I think we have time for one more here. What more do we know about the potential for long-term damage from COVID-19?
We're learning more. It's still only been 6 months, so we don't really know true long-term damage, but we're learning about effects, for example, on the kidneys. So 14% of people in the New York case series who were admitted needed dialysis, and we know that a good chunk of those people will end up on long-term dialysis. So long-term loss of kidney function is a possibility. Heart disease, so people are having heart attacks from clots related to this virus, they'll have long-term heart damage. Lung damage is the big one. We know that SARS and MERS, for example, caused a lot of scarring or fibrosis in the lungs. We're starting to see that with this virus. We're expecting a lot of people who were really sick, and for example, in the ICU and on a ventilator, to have that kind of damage. We're also hearing about long-term neurologic consequences. Some people are getting strokes when they're very sick with this virus. And even things like loss of sense of smell, in some cases, has persisted for quite some time. So we're learning more and more. Probably the people who are sickest with the virus are the ones who are at risk for long-term consequences.
And quickly, do we know to what extent age plays a factor there? I mean, because we're talking about other complicating factors, is it that predominantly older people are more likely to suffer long-term damage?
I think people who have underlying organ damage to begin with are more likely to suffer long-term damage, and that goes with age. And also people who have more severe infection, which also goes with age. So age is likely going to be a predictor of some of these long-term consequences on that basis alone.
Okay, hey, Dr. Samir Gupta, always good to talk to you. Thanks so much.
And you take care.
And for those folks of you watching at home, send us your questions about COVID-19 if you've got more of them. You can message us directly on Instagram at CBC The National, or you can send us an email at covid@cbc.ca. Now, we've been sharing the stories of those claimed by COVID-19 in a project called Lives Remembered. Tonight, Ronnie Burke remembers her father.
My name is Ronnie Burke, and my dad, Ragbir Singh Dosanjh, passed away on April 17, 2020 from COVID-19. He was 86 years old. Dad came to Canada on November 11th, 1970. He was a very hard worker, spending his days and nights in the sawmill to save enough money to bring his young family to Canada. We joined him here in 1974. Soon after we came to Canada, Dad was able to buy a farm that he worked on in addition to his full-time job at the mill. On top of that, he had to take on a bigger role at home after my mother was diagnosed with schizophrenia. I was only 12 years old at the time. My dad became like a mother and father to me after this point. Dad's persistence to create a better life in this country that he loved was an inspiration to all of his kids. As strict as he was with us, he was a total softie as a grandfather. He loved every moment that he could spend with his grandkids. When he wasn't spoiling his grandkids, he would do the other thing he loved, and that was volunteering at our local Gurdwara, which is doing seva, serving food and cleaning dishes and just doing anything he possibly could. It was something he cherished and was integral to his faith. Dad had a stroke in January, which led him to the rehabilitation center where he contracted COVID and ended up in ICU. I want the world to know that my dad was a loving and caring person who always had a smile on his face. A handshake and a hug is the way he created you if you were ever to meet him. I was so grateful to get the opportunity to see him for the very last time, where I was able to tell him how much I loved him.
More than 8,800 Canadians have died after contracting COVID-19. We've gathered many of their stories online. You can find them at cbc.ca/remembered. Okay, when we come back, a family calls for action.
If she dies in vain, she's just another dead child. Maybe her death will have at least some sense of meaning.
After the death of a 4-year-old, serious questions about the family court system. Next. COVID-19 changed the world and the conversation in living rooms and newsrooms, but the rest of life didn't really stop. And for one Toronto area family, neither did the impact of a tragic death. Kira Kagan, just 4 years old, was found with her father back in February. Their deaths still under investigation, but Kira's mother has no doubt about what happened. Joanna Remiliotis spoke to Jennifer Kagan just weeks after losing her daughter, numb with pain but determined. We are finally airing her story now because despite all that's changed over the past 5 months, Kagan's quest for her daughter hasn't.
This girl had personality, she had hope, she had dreams, she had aspirations. She really deserved to be heard, and the court process completely obliterated her voice. And now she's gone, and so, my role is I'm gonna try to be her voice.
That Jennifer Kagan is able to speak at all is striking. She just lost her 4-year-old daughter, Kira. But she and her husband, Philip Viator, are determined to tell the story of a justice system that failed to protect her.
All of this comes from a place of immense love, of grief, of having, fought so hard for this child over the past 4 years just so that she could live a good life.
We don't want this to happen to another child. If she dies in vain, she's just another dead child. But if this is seen for what it is, and what we know it is, maybe her death will have at least some sense of meaning for other children and for our justice system as a whole.
Kira and her biological father, Robin Brown, were found dead at the bottom of a cliff in a conservation area west of Toronto in February. Police are still investigating, but Philip and Jennifer are convinced it was no accident, but a deliberate act by a disturbed man, empowered by a family court system that enabled him.
I believe this was preventable. He did the ultimate, the unthinkable, the worst possible thing, which was to remove her from this world completely, and thus leaving me to bear this pain for the rest of my days.
There were warning signs. Just before Kira was born, Jennifer says her ex-husband forced her to watch him kill a litter of newborn bunnies in their backyard.
He physically restrained me and he held me as he forced me to watch him kill these animals.
Other times, he turned on her.
There was an incident where one of the dogs brought in a mouse, and in a fit of rage, he took the mouse from the mouth of the dog and he went and he shoved it in my mouth.
The abuse escalated, so did the deception. Jennifer, a doctor, found out her ex-husband had lied about going to a prestigious university and was leading a double life. A year after Kira was born, she fled, only to become trapped in a dangerous custody case.
There were clear red flags in terms of the abuse, the pathological lying, and that was all just completely ignored and deemed to be irrelevant to parenting, when in reality I'm of the view that it is very relevant to parenting, that if someone has a history of abusive behavior towards one spouse, what can happen is they can then use the child as a tool by which to harm their ex-partner. And that's exactly what happened in this case. Kira was a means by which to get at me, to get his claws into me, to harm me, to cause me as much emotional strife as possible. And he knew very well how to do that.
It may seem shocking, but family court often operates on the premise an abusive ex-spouse can still be a good parent. Jennifer's ex-husband was granted liberal, unsupervised access to Kira on weekends and holidays.
How do you feel trapped in this legal arrangement?
It's a terrible feeling. You feel very helpless, you feel very powerless.
I like all the dark colors except dark red and dark blue.
Once in her father's care, Jennifer says her daughter became a target of repeated emotional abuse. Court-mandated calls from Jennifer checking in were ignored, and when Kira came back, she would unravel.
Red and dark blue.
She would come home, there would be episodes of inconsolable crying, throwing herself down on the floor, saying awful things to me that she'd heard from her dad.
Like what?
I hate you, you're bad, mommy. When I was pregnant with our son, she said to me, Dad says you have something in your stomach that makes you say and do bad things.
Then we go to Justice Charney.
Jennifer and Philip sought court order after court order.
This is the binder of court orders.
A family lawyer himself, Philip has never seen a case like it.
There are 53 court orders in a span of about 3 years, which is almost unheard of.
According to court documents, Kiera's father was reprimanded for violating court orders, for repeated lying, and for attempts to defraud the court. There were a lot of warnings, but little action.
It always came down to the same question with the judges, with the social workers. Does he physically harm her? And my answer, and Jennifer's answer, was always the same: not yet. They didn't treat emotional and psychological harm as the red flag that it was.
It doesn't have to come to this. Like, it doesn't have to come to a point of a child losing their life for us to say that the system needs change.
Deepa Matu runs the Barbara Schleifer Commemorative Clinic, a legal resource for survivors of domestic violence. She says family court judges who believe spousal abuse is a separate issue put children at risk.
The research says that if a woman is experiencing abuse, her children, the chance of them experiencing abuse is as high as 40%. Has your ex-partner physically assaulted you?
To identify potential victims, Deepa is working on a domestic violence screening tool.
Has your ex-partner ever threatened or tried to take children away or child away?
She wants it to be used by all family court judges.
At least it will give our system an opportunity to pause.
Do you think it could save lives?
It can save lives, absolutely. I think any kind of disruption to the cycle of violence can save lives. Sometimes it just needs to be someone doing that extra check in on the situation.
You want another one in this hand? There you go.
But that didn't happen for Jennifer. And after her son with Philip was born, her ex-husband's behavior became even more alarming. The second to last visit he had with Kiera, he refused to return her to her mother. The police intervened and Jennifer went to court pleading for an emergency motion to restrict his access. Days before a judgment was expected, Kiera was dead. It was over.
It wasn't about me, you know, it really was about her having the best possible life that she could have, and I would have done absolutely anything to ensure that for her. Unfortunately, I was not able to ensure that she had a long life ahead of her, but she drives me in you know, at all times now.
We have to put it together because that's the only way that we think change may be enacted. We did everything imaginable. We brought motions when we needed to bring them. We got court orders after court orders, and the money wasn't an issue for us, and we still couldn't save this child. If we can't do it, imagine a person who doesn't even have our resources. They're not saving their child. And I could tell you, even from experience, I know a lot of people who have complained after getting final orders that their child is suffering harm. Maybe not catastrophic harm, death like in our case, but psychological harm, and I believe it. I believe it because of the way the court system currently is.
Kiera's grave has just been marked. Their grief is still so bitter and raw.
Every day is hard. Every day is painful. You know, there's nothing easy about this.
But to save another child, they say they'll keep speaking for the little girl who can't anymore. Joanna Brumiliotis, CBC News, Thornhill, Ontario.
Well, when we come back, advocates have been calling for it for decades. Today, the NFL's Washington Redskins say they are dropping the name.
I'll be honest with you, it is time for a change.
What happened and what comes next, right after this.
I'm sure that there's a lot of people in the community, family members that are desperately searching for those answers.
Crews continue to investigate a home explosion in Leamington, Ontario yesterday, which left a couple in their mid-60s dead. Officials have asked the public to avoid the area. No word yet on a possible cause. Well, this altercation has sparked an investigation by police in Calgary. It happened last month as a group of young Black Lives Matter protesters were on their way to a demonstration. They say the incident began with a stranger calling them the N-word and ended with the man grabbing a young black woman by the neck. Well, after decades of demands by Indigenous groups and others, the NFL's Washington Redskins says it is dropping its name and logo. But while it's possible the owner was finally persuaded by arguments of racism, there may be another explanation. Here's Cameron McIntosh.
That name, that logo, 87 years of tradition are wrapped up in them. So are decades of turmoil. Viewed by many as a racial slur, the faithful are coming to grips with the team's announcement.
I'm not feeling the change, really, honestly.
I'll be honest with you, it is time for a change. It's family. That's all it is. The Redskin is a family.
For years, there's been an Indigenous-led push to change the name. Support grew. This was star football analyst Bob Costas in 2013.
It's an insult, a slur.
Team owner Dan Snyder has always refused. So, what's changed? Sponsors. As recent anti-racism demonstrations sweep the U.S., FedEx threatened to pull its name from the team's stadium, taking tens of millions of dollars of sponsorship dollars with it.
It's once the sponsors started saying, all right, it's either you stick to that name or you stick with us, that he decided to change. It's as simple as that. It's always going to be what it is. It's money drives the story.
Today's announcement, which went out on team letterhead with the logo, made direct mention of sponsors before fans. Twice. And some question if this is really progress.
When you have a team named after a dictionary-defined racial slur, that should not take the kind of corporate pressure that's been brought to bear here.
I truly think that if there was some real social consciousness raising with the corporate sponsors or with the team owners, we would see them doing more than just changing the name.
Similar corporate pressure has the CFL's Edmonton Eskimos and baseball's Cleveland Indians looking at their names. But the Atlanta Braves say they won't change theirs, though they are reviewing the Tomahawk Chop. Meanwhile, in Washington, a new debate. What should the team be called? Warriors is a leading candidate. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, next on The National, a symbolic cross-border moment.
Everyone's saying it's the most American thing ever. This is all like just USA, USA. And I was like, you know what, guys? I'm Canadian.
A Canadian becomes a bit of an American folk hero after rescuing a bald eagle on the 4th of July. What's next? Well, Canadians and Americans have long enjoyed a friendly rivalry, but this past July 4th, it took a Canuck to rescue the very symbol of America itself. Calgary's Brett Bacon was boating on a BC lake when with his family, when he came across a young bald eagle floating in the water, clearly in distress. How Brett describes what happened next is our moment.
Stop. So I get him in. And I'm holding on to him, and he starts flapping and going crazy.
It's okay.
And just from, I don't know, everyone's seen a lot of Discovery Channel and things like that. And I just remember seeing some sort of video where they kind of pull the bird's wings in so they don't get hurt, so they can't flap around and mess anything up. So I just harnessed my inner Discovery Channel and held on to him, and he just calmed down. He didn't really fight. Like he was just shivering, and now looking back on it, I think he was just very exhausted. Everyone's saying it's the most American thing ever. This is all like just USA, USA. And I was like, you know what, guys? I'm Canadian. So I had some friends who live in the States message me, and they're like, you're welcome here anytime. Like, you come to a barbecue cookout anytime you want. You come across that border whenever you want. So I feel it's pretty good. You know, that the world's in a bit of a crazy place right now. So I'm happy to show there is a bit of camaraderie between countries right now, and to hopefully like send some positivity around the world.
And you heard him yell in pain there. So keep in mind, he didn't emerge from this entirely unscathed. Apparently, he had puncture holes in both of his sleeves, obviously scratches underneath. Fortunately, nothing more serious than that. And just imagine how much that must have hurt. I was attacked by a squirrel a long time ago, and that really hurt. That would have been very painful, and I've said too much. That's The National for this Monday, July 13th. Have a good night.